Alright, so now we're going to start setting up our machine code. I should have my manufacture sample, the car that I'm going to manufacture. I should have my support structure, which joins the car to that front fixture spigot. And obviously the car should be sitting directly over the rear fixture spigot. So we have spent the last lesson or so setting that up. Now we can get into actually setting up the machine code. So we are going to leave the design environment here and we're going to go down into manufacture. Alright, so this manufacturing environment is designed for a whole bunch of different types of CNC machines to do a whole bunch of different types of operations. It can do some really very complex stuff. We're going to try and keep it fairly basic for this exercise. So basically our machine works. We will machine a right hand side of our car, so this side of our car first. So our machine sort of drills up and down, it cuts side to side and forwards and backwards. So we have to do the right hand side first, and then what we'll do is we'll flip it over and machine the left hand side of the car. And then if you need, we can turn it and do the bottom, maybe the top, as additional codes. So what we're going to do, as I said, to start with, is set up our right hand side. So these are sort of little bolt heads. They're going to be facing you, I guess, when we load the machine. So we want them sort of facing the front. So this is the top side of the machine, the stock that we're going to be machining now. So keep that in mind when we're looking at orientation. So first thing I'm going to do is set up my code. Okay, now try and get this above my head. So I'm just going to leave the machine blank here. Set up. So operation type is going to be milling. Okay, and I'm just going to skip down to our work coordinate system. So we have to tell the program which way is up and down, where the center of our model is. And this is going to be the center of our model right here. I'm going to tell it which is up and down and which is side to side. So I'm going to go to stock point, so origin, and change that just to model origin. And that should put it right there. That should be dictated by your manufacturer sample, so it should go there. That's the reason why we can't put manufacturer sample into our car. We have to put our car into the manufacturer sample. So origin is model origin. Now we're going to make sure that these axes are going the right way. Now the Z-axis is almost always, when we're talking in any sort of CAD/CAM technology, the Z-axis is almost always up and down. So we need the Z-axis to be pointing upwards. So we need, for this exercise, we're going to choose our orientation is going to be based off of the Z-axis and /blank and a Y-axis. So I'm going to choose that one. Now before I go any further, it's already got me asking me to choose a Z-axis. So I'm going to choose a line which goes up and down. So it could be this one, it could be this one, it doesn't really matter. It could be that one. So Z-axis is that one. And then my Y-axis, again, I'm going to choose any axis which is going sideways, so I'll choose that one. So nothing's changed because it was already in that position to start with. What we need to do though is make sure that we flip our Z-axis so it's pointing upwards. So over here I'm going to hit flip Z so it's pointing upwards. Now if you don't remember anything else, this X-axis must always point away from the car. So in this case I'm going to flip the Y-axis so it faces, the X faces the other way. That is critically important because the simulation won't show that it doesn't work, but it will break the machine if that X-axis is facing the wrong way. So X must face backwards, heading away from the car. Z-axis should be facing upwards, in the direction that we're machining. So machining this topside, so that's our work coordinate system sorted. So you make sure you choose your Z-axis, Y-axis. Choose each of those, make sure they're facing in the right direction, and your model origin is your origin. Right. Now we have to tell it some other information, and that's going to be what is it that we are machining here. So I'm just going to pop these open to make my life a bit easier. So what are we machining? So model, we're going to select the model. So it says nothing there. We're going to choose what it is that we're actually going to machine. So obviously, the main thing I want to machine, I might just hide my balsa stock for the moment, is going to be my car. So that is one of the things I'm going to machine. The other thing I need to machine is this. Because this is set up as a different component, we need to make sure this support structure is selected as well. So I'm going to select that. So it should be at least 2 bodies. Some people might have a couple of components if you've, depending on how you've built that support structure. But so it should be the car and the support structure selected for your model. We're also going to choose our fixtures, and we've got 2 of those. So one is the fixture spigot, and one is the fixture at the other end. Now it's important the machine knows that these fixtures are there, so it doesn't run into them. And then the last thing we need to set up, we need to go across to the next tab, stock, and we need to select node from solid. So we're machining out of a block of balsa wood. I've just hidden it, so I better turn it back on again. So where it says mode, I'm going to choose from solid, and I'm going to choose a balsa stock. Okay, so that's all set up. It's in the way. Okay, so that is now your first setup done. Now before we go any further, we'll call this right setup. Next step is we'll start adding some operations. So I'll cover that in the next video.